Okay guys, Forristicat here. I thought it would be time for me to put out another video, seeing as it's been a couple of months or whatever. So yeah, I wanted to put my thoughts out first and foremost on Django Unchained. So given this is a Quentin Tarantino movie, there's things we're going to expect from a Quentin Tarantino movie. What can we expect? Crazy direction, self-references, him being in the actual movie, tributes to the extreme, music, incongruencies, over-the-top violence, and a massive amount of tension being built up in scenes. And having seen Django Unchained, yeah, that this movie does deliver in all of those fronts. There are a couple of problems I had with the movie. Number one is Django, at the end of the movie, he sort of gets captured again. I understand like the whole point of having the character in movies rise up and then they go to a downfall again, but if you're going to put that in a story, it has to be sort of extended and prolonged. Given this, I understand this is like a 2-hour 45-minute movie, but nevertheless it's sort of for rushed in there, they showed him back in the cage again, and that was sort of forced, sort of hurried, didn't really work in my opinion. But I can say the soundtrack was fantastic. The soundtrack, I'm gonna acquire it very soon because the music was great. Like the scene where it shows him running away just after it shows all the chickens being plucked with feathers and stuff like that. And that's the thing Quentin does very well. He sort of, apart from just building huge amounts of tension, I talk about in my videos of having your downtime in order to earn your uptime moments. Quentin Tarantino does this to the extreme. He has so much downtime, and yet he cleverly directs. And given from his past movies, that if you know him as a director, you know that something crazy is going to happen, but you don't know when. So you have this scene in a dinner table towards the end with Leonardo DiCaprio's character, and that's another interesting thing. It's just in a room. The whole a good chunk of the movie is just them interacting in a room, and yet it's very interesting. And the characters is very well written, flamboyant. That it's a very easy movie, at least for me to like. Django, that's not a lot of my complaints. Felt like he could have used some more scenes. He reminds me of Michonne in The Walking Dead. They're just very sort of standoffish, not sort of talking that much. Just when they do talk, they're very angry all the time, sort of not giving us much time to sort of understand the character very much. I would have liked to see more closure on the dentist's death, Christopher Waltz's character. That was sort of done very quickly. And overall, man, it's a typical Quentin Tarantino movie. There's just, as much as it's serious, there's something in there that makes it not serious. You got that tooth bouncing on the wagon, which is ridiculous. You got the whole end scene with the explosion and her putting her fingers in her ears and trying to balance the horse, stuff like that. It's a pretty arousing movie, so I would give it probably an 8.5 out of 10. What can I say? I do enjoy his movies. I do like the fact that he does reference other movies. Even though I'm no movie aficionado by any means, I'm just assuming he's getting these things from somewhere, and he's doing that because it looks good or whatever, or he's doing it for a particular reason. And I'll admit, I'm a Quentin Tarantino fan, and I do like what he's doing with these movies. And I heard he wants to film a movie in Australia, or he wants to do another Jackie Brown movie or something like that. Who knows? But apart from that, what can I say? Story, very good story. Characters, could have been fleshed out a little bit. The story towards the end of him being recaptured again could have been done better. Pretty funny movie, lots of jokes and emotion. The actors definitely put the emotions on the table, especially his wife, who he's trying to find all the time. But ultimately, there wasn't that much as tension as I would have liked. Emotionally, like I said, he really builds tension a lot in his scenes. I'm like, wow, what's gonna happen next? You get a emotion of being scared right at the beginning, where he just shoots all these horses randomly, just all these random shootings just happening out of nowhere. That's your emotion for you. And yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I just didn't feel like a sense of loss, like as if the wife would really die. I thought, you know what, this is probably not going to happen, because I could sort of predict like the stories is not headed in that direction. So that was another, you know, not that positive thing in my part. Overall 8.5 out of 10. So I also want to talk about a couple of other different topics. I thought I might as well make this like a popcorn episode or whatever, you know, rather than talking for 60 minutes about one thing. I'll mix it up. So yeah, Dexter, wrap up of season 7, I believe. I heard in the Dexter novel, you know, Darkly Dreaming Dexter, that his sister does sort of help him, you know, to kill all these people and stuff like that. And, you know, finally the show is sort of heading in that direction. LaGuerta, you know, one of the main characters is dead. But overall, you know, this show has gone crap. You know, like, I'm thinking of just stopping to watch it, because, and I mentioned this on my Facebook ones, like, the movie is visually very, very, very good, but looks isn't everything. Like, the colors, you know, color coordination of the, you know, the clothing that they're wearing, it's very bright. The music is great. The location is fantastic. It's beautiful. But the story, they are rehashing too many old ideas. Namely, like Dexter's love interest. It feels like Dexter has had way too many love interests already. So I did not care at all about this relationship between, you know, him and this Hannah character. Like, I just didn't care at all. It just doesn't matter to me. So if they're going to spend a lot of time of the actual season like trying to describe the relationship between Dexter and Hannah, and I'm not caring about it, then you're just wasting my time. Another thing, and this is like a huge thing, and someone actually mentioned this, I think, on the Dexter fan page, is that if you're going to like have like a major, you know, like plot bomb dropped, which is Deborah finally finding out that her brother is a killer, and then a couple of scenes later, or the next episode later, she's complaining about something like the spaghetti bolognese being cold or something like that. It's like, you just can't do that. Like, you have to really, like, given like her history of how much she's fucked up and stuff, you have to sort of have like a huge, not a huge, but quite a lot of time to reconcile her character, given that she's had this history of like being abused by killers. Her boyfriend was a killer. Her other boyfriend, the older guy, died. All this other stuff, and then she gets over it very quickly. That is extremely unrealistic. I understand it's a story, but that is one story point which I cannot suspend disbelief for. Like, just the amount of, just how quickly Deborah's character got over the fact that Dexter is a killer. Combine those two things with less than compelling villains. There's characters here that it's very obvious that they don't know what they're doing. Like the kids, they know what they're doing. What's the other name? Detective Quinn, Batista. You know, Dexter, I'm probably gonna stop watching it. First couple of seasons, like with many TV shows, fantastic. A likable serial killer. Is it right to kill killers? Interesting moral question. Interesting relationship starting to develop between Dexter and LaGuerta in the season 1-2. Dexter being sort of psycho to begin with. Fantastic. Then, boom, creativity gone. It's very obvious. So Dexter, disappointing season. Justified is back on the cards with episodes 1 and 2 airing. I think episode 3 is tomorrow. You know, disappointing first 2 episodes. The only reason why I watch Justified now is just because Raylan's just a very cool character. And it's just cool to see him do Raylan, to quote a podcast I listen to. And given that, that's the only reason I watch it, basically. I mean, like, season 1 and 2,
I think we're up to season 4 now. Like, season 1 was very procedural, and there was a lot of complaints about that. Season 2 was pretty good with Mags Bennett. Season 3, even better with Quarles and this crazy like villains. The villains were very well written, in my opinion. But now season 4, I think it is, like, it just feels like, yeah, they're not sure exactly where to take the show. I mean, they are referencing, like, I think what's called the Bluegrass Conspiracy in Kentucky, where like there's a cocaine drop and like they're sort of dealing cocaine in the woods. Walter Goggins' character is very strong, and they sort of got this church theme in the background, but nothing we haven't seen before. I really don't know where they're taking this season, but I'm going to give the Rise the benefit of the doubt, considering that they did sort of in season 3 like push things towards more favourable plot lines and more you know, it's more interesting. I will watch it at least this season. So yeah, please, you know, like
make some more intense scenes, maybe some like threat of someone dying or something, Raylan's baby being kidnapped or whatever, or like his wife, and just yeah, more compelling storylines of like a sort of bigger villain, so like a massive plot where sort of we can all jump on the bandwagon for Raylan to defeat these guys, instead of like these sort of like boring sort of a slow start to the season. Let's have something big, something like mysterious, something more compelling. So Justified episodes 1 and 2, not that good. I also saw Gangster Squad a couple of weeks ago, I think. Basically, to summarize it, yeah, an IMDb review was correct. Like, it's a fantastic B movie, but you know, a B movie it is. Visually though, what an incredible movie. Like, really words cannot describe. Like, just the scene where like they walk into the bar, you got that, you know, old-fashioned music playing. And I think this is purely because I like the video game LA Noire so much. But it was literally like I was just, you know, I was like in that time period, and that's the thing. Like 1950s America is like just like it, you know, if you build a time machine, like, oh, that's one of the locations I'd really like to go to, just because it's like it's one of those. It's like the dinosaurs. It's like you really can't believe that a time like that existed. It's like someone like wrote about it, specifically made people dress this way, specifically made the culture this way, specifically made the women this way and the gangsters this way, and yet it actually, you know, is based upon reality. So visually it was fantastic. A little bit concerned about the main villain sort of like changing accents from like being Russian to sort of like a different accent sort of like straight away. Yeah, basically what can I say, characters a little bit underdeveloped. Like we were starting to get to know them, but it sort of like fell short about giving them depth. Story was pretty interesting, a little bit over the top, of course, with, you know, the whole Christmas scene at the end. Someone put it very well, like online. They said like it was like the Untouchables light version. So, but story was pretty good. But yeah, the big kicker for me is, yeah, in my trifecta of what makes a good piece of fandom, is there just was no really emotion behind the movie. Like I didn't really care about what happened to the characters. The whole like them sitting at the beach, all living happily ever after, I don't care. But having said that, from just because of the set piece, the main character of the movie was of course the 1950s. Just because like I've never seen anything like this on screen before. Personally, I haven't watched any movies like that. It's got new actors or whatever. I just say, yeah, I enjoyed the Gangster Squad. I'd give it probably, yeah, like a 6.5 to 7 out of 10, because yeah, just visually, like I'm a fan of the 1950s and I'm sort of biased. With 3 minutes to go, I'm making my way through the final season of Fringe. I think I'm up to episode 7. What can I say? Like the plot of Fringe is like a mess. It started off pretty good, you know, but then again, like I said, becoming too much spaghetti bolognese all over the place. This plot line, that plot line, getting complicated, like lost, like interweaving plot lines, alternate characters, alternate universes, you know, things which happen which the Rise is conveniently forgot about, like Olivia getting shot and, you know, or saying she died in a dream or something like that. But nevertheless, because I'm so invested in this show, yeah, because I'm aware like the series finale aired like a couple of days ago, I think. And because, you know, like I'm just invested in the characters and stuff like that, I really want to see how this ends. Yeah, just quickly, you know, I agree with everyone who's saying that, you know, John Noble, he should get an Emmy for his performance. You know, as crap as like some of the storylines are, like I agree, some of the storylines should be written better. But as crap as they are, you know, John Noble, like he's really like a great actor, and like I think it's a really testament to actors where the plot is crap, and but the actors believe in it so much that it's sort of like it still makes it realistic and it still makes the scenes not too bad. So like, you know, Walter getting tortured and stuff like that by the observers, you know, it breaks my heart and stuff. And yeah, he's a very good actor, and yeah, like it's a shame that he did not get an Emmy. You know, similar to I guess The Wire or yeah, Michael Scott, Steve Carell in The Office. Like, but then again, like, you know, the Emmys shouldn't be sort of a judge of what's good or not. You should be a judge of what's good or not. So yeah, with 1 minute to go, that's my thoughts of, yeah, Dexter. Not the best TV show, hasn't been for a while, but still, again, once you've been watching a TV show for a while, you sort of want to see how it ends. Justified eps 1 and 2, slow start to this season, still wanting to see how it goes. Not sure how it's going to go, but hopefully like there'll be a sort of more compelling plot line happening soon. Gangster Squad, fun B movie, taken from like just the visual sense, great. Story, pretty good, lots of action. Characters also pretty good, but could have been sort of elaborated more upon. Not enough emotional impact when people die and stuff. I just didn't really care, so it sort of failed a little bit on that front. But visually, it was amazing. Django Unchained, typical Tarantino movie, a little bit rushed in places, even though it was a 2 hour and 45-minute movie. Nevertheless, like what can I say? I'm a self-confessed fan of his movies, and I am sort of compelled to watch more of his movies. And I give that, like I said, about a 8.5 out of 10, I believe. And finally, Fringe. Not the best TV show anymore, but my favourite part of Fringe is seeing the relationship between Walter and Peter, and I will watch it through to the end, and hopefully the series finale wasn't too bad. And with that, that's my finale of this episode. Hope you enjoyed this mixed episode. Forristicat out. Till next time. Peace.